What it do, NFL fam? Um, by now y'all should have heard this already. John Harbaugh and the New York Giants are working to finalize an agreement. You see, now I want y'all to understand what this means. Y'all gotta understand the ramifications and the long term effects of this. He's in the NFC now. And I was always told, I said, okay, if he was going to go to any team, because people was like, oh, he's going to go to the Raiders. I was like, that's going to take about 6-7 years just to, get that organization together. You know what I'm saying? Let alone build a team. But he goes to the Giants. Now, from what we've seen from the Giants, from the quarterback that they already have and the running back that they have, remember, they were on a little high horse for a minute until, the running back Scatterboo got hurt. But now you bring Harbaugh there. He brings his own coaching staff. Okay? So they're going to solidify some things in that division. Now, remember that division, that's the Cowboys, the Commanders, and the Eagles. Remember, the Giants were like kind of bottom of the barrel. Once Eli Manning left, they were kind of like bottom of the barrel. And then I guess the Commanders and Jaden Daniels kind of like moved up a little bit. I really can't say if they did because what the Commanders got 4 wins this year. It really, like I said, from when he went to the NFC Championship, was that a fluke? I don't know, what I'm saying, because they gave the Commanders, they said, okay, you had an easy schedule, let's give you a hard schedule. They gave him a hard schedule. He didn't even, I think he played 5 or 6 games this season. He was hurt most of the time. So Marcus Mariota played most of the game. So it's up and down with the Commanders, man. It really is. But with the Giants, now that quarterback, he got to learn to slide a little bit more because I think he had a couple of concussions. But now I think Harbaugh's going to fix that. Harbaugh will fix that. And this guy is still young. He's still young. I want everybody to understand, Harbaugh drafted Lamar Jackson. He already had Flacco. He already had a quarterback, but when he drafted Lamar Jackson, they put the pieces around him. And, the problem is Lamar Jackson was kind of like, you know what? And that with the Ravens is kind of like the Niners. Not the team and stuff like that. They were the Ravens was getting all the way up there and then running to them the Kansas City Chiefs and the referees. They got a whole video in one of the and I think in one of the playoff games where the Ravens, they are driving for a score, and it literally shows the Kansas City Chiefs player hold the guy down so he can't even receive the ball. Even the commentators was like, what's going on? He's literally grabbing him before, and the referees didn't say nothing. So that's just one of the occasions that Harbaugh was running into the Kansas City Chiefs. That's just what it was. Same thing with the Niners. Only reason we was meeting them in the Super Bowl is because they're in the AFC. So, but the Ravens it's either the AFC Championship or they're meeting them in the playoffs, somewhere in the playoffs. I'm saying like wild card, whatever it is, divisional, whatever it is. So they were meeting them there, and he just couldn't get over that hump. He's like he said it was you can't beat the refs. So really letting him go probably was a good thing. But to say that now, I say, okay, he in the NFC. He's in the NFC. The Niners ain't worried about it. The Niners ain't worried about none of that. You feel me? Because at the same time, the NFC West, we got enough to deal with our own. I don't, like I said, really, any teams in the NFC, I don't really worry about none of them. What it is the NFC West, we play each other so much, we got to deal with that. So I'm not really tripping off any other teams. But now the NFC, I forgot what's the NFC East, I think. Eagles. You got to understand, He can play call. He got play callers. He got a whole coaching staff. So they finna change that whole organization up. Notice how he got a job really quick. Really quick. Belichick couldn't even get a job this quick. So he's going to come and put some things together. See, you see how Mike Tomlin was like, I'm going to take some time off. And they was coaching around the same time. He was coaching a long time. But now you see how Tomlin was like, I'm going to take some time off. And, he might go on and commentate whatever it is now. But I think Tomlin needs to go. Tomlin needs to go to another, do what Andy Reid did. But like I said, with Tomlin, you can't develop a quarterback. That's the problem with the Steelers. Tomlin himself can't develop a quarterback. Now, if he had a whole coaching staff, that would be good. But Tomlin didn't have one. He kept different offensive coordinators and different defensive coordinators. It was different people around him. See, with Harbaugh, he had a staff. He had a staff. So, he's pretty good. So when he leaves, his staff goes, he knew he was going to have a job. It is what it is. Tomlin, like I said, he's got to go into the right situation and all the right situation, a quarterback, running back, and then he can help the defense out. I would like Tomlin to go somewhere and just be a defensive coordinator. But a lot of people don't really want to. What Saleh did, step back down. A lot of people don't want to. But now Saleh's at the top of the list at all the coaches now. Because they see, damn, this motherfucker's damn near a genius. You know what I'm saying? And Tomlin, maybe he needs to, step back and be like, hold on a second. Let me go to a team that just really need a defense. And just like, what Shanahan do is Shanahan like, Saleh, you take care of the defense. I don't even want to worry about that. Let me get this offense straight. That's why you see so many brilliant plays right now from Shanahan. Because he can completely focus on the offense. See, when you can do 100% on the offense, you ain't got to worry nothing about the defense. You just let somebody else handle it. But remember last year, he's the defense and he's trying to help out the defensive coordinator. And it was just too much going on, man. Too much going on. Steve Wilkes, it wasn't that much. Steve Wilkes, we still got to the playoffs, still to the Super Bowl. So, but, when you see somebody like Harbaugh, remember, his teams had a good defense. They had a good defense, but we all know that when Ray Lewis left, that team kind of flipped. So they put a lot of stuff behind the offense. And because they was a good offense. You got Lamar Jackson. They were good offense. They got Derrick Henry. They had a good offense. Same thing with the Steelers. Same thing. So when you see now that he's in the NFC, that's going to change some things up. And I can understand if he had to come to a team that he had to build. You got to draft your quarterback. You got to draft your running back. All he needs is a few more pieces. And I guarantee you some veterans are going to follow him because of the division. Man, he just needs a few more pieces and put around him because the dude can play quarterback. He will sit in the pocket and throw the ball, but now he will run. He just got to learn to slide before he start getting his brains rattled all the time. But now, hey, like I said, in that division, Cowboys, you've had plenty of time. You had plenty of time, and now you got draft picks or whatever it is, and you had plenty of time. So, Cowboys, if you don't get it done, I mean, your shit is inept. Commanders, I don't know. The verdict is still out on the Commanders. I don't really know. Jaden Daniels, I just don't know. Nobody knows. You know what I'm saying? And then Eagles got rid of another offensive coordinator, right? Okay. Well, you know what? It's gonna get tougher now. You're not gonna have a division where we know we're gonna be able to beat up on the Giants, and then now with the Commanders we can win some games. Now it's gonna be all around. Everybody's got to play. All around, everybody's gonna play. That division is gonna be a lot harder, and that's good. That's good for football. Yeah. It's good for the Niners. We can sit back and watch. Everybody just can't watch the Niners division and watch all three of our teams in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying. It's a good luck for football. But let me know what y'all think. Leave it in the comments. Peace. I'm out of here.